The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty.
Oh, the sweet taste of justice. The WNBA All-Star game just got a whole lot spicier, and let me tell you, Caitlin Clark isn't playing around anymore. While everyone was focused on the draft picks and roster construction, Clark pulled off the power move of the century. She brutally traded Cheryl Reeve right out of her coaching position, and boy, did she do it with style.
Caitlin Clark just made the funniest All-Star selections ever. She just picked her friends. She made sure she picked no ops, as people like to call them. She made sure there were no ops on her team. If she's played with a player before, like Sonia Citron, she picked her. Gabby Williams, she picked nobody that's tweeted a negative thing about her. She's picked nobody that has said a negative thing about her in the media. She picked none of her rivals.
This wasn't just any ordinary trade, folks. This was Caitlin Clark saying, "I'm done with your negativity, Cheryl, and I'm taking control of my destiny." After everything Reeve put her through, the Olympic snub, the passive-aggressive tweets, the constant undermining, Clark finally had the chance to show Reeve exactly what she thinks of her coaching abilities.
Yo, this is the first time I've ever seen this, man. The first time out of all the times I've seen where two star players are picking up players. They ask for a trade, or the median person asked for a trade, and they're talking about trading the coach.
Let's be real here. This trade was personal. Clark knew exactly what she was doing when she looked straight at Nafisa Collier during that live ESPN broadcast and said, "I don't know if this is in the rules, I don't really care, but we already discussed we are going to trade coaches." The confidence, the audacity, the absolute boss energy radiating from that moment was everything Clark fans have been waiting for.
With you here, Caitlin, you said you might be aggressive on the trade market once this opened up. Is there any player that you're looking to get to? And remember, it has to be apples to apples trade here. Starter for starter, reserve for reserve. The good news is you can't go wrong with this type of talent. Anyone looking to make a deal here?
To be completely honest, I love my team. I think they're great. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them. I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello.
Cheryl Reeve thought she could coast through this All-Star game, probably expecting Clark to just accept her as coach and move on like nothing happened. Wrong. Clark doesn't forget, and she certainly doesn't forgive coaches who spend their time trying to tear down the league's biggest star instead of supporting her.
Caitlin Clark was supposed to be coached by Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve. Nafisa Collier was supposed to be coached by New York Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello. They swapped coaches. Cheryl Reeve, dodged the bullet. Thank God I don't need to coach Caitlin Clark, man. Man, I can't deal with that. I would have had to swallow so much pride, I can't do that. Fee, she probably called him the Fee, talk to Caitlin, please. I can't coach her, I can't do it. This book's about to come out. You know what they're going to be saying if I'm coaching Caitlin Clark and the book's out? Oh, God. Fee, please.
The history between these two is absolutely toxic, and Clark finally had enough. Remember when Reeve was out there tweeting #12teams, #the W is more than one player, while Clark was breaking every record in the book? Or when she conveniently couldn't comment on Clark's Olympic snub while she was literally the Team USA coach? Reeve spent months positioning herself as Clark's biggest hater, always finding ways to diminish her accomplishments and redirect attention away from her historic impact.
Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest of the league, not to mention being the coach of Team USA that Caitlin Clark was so famously snubbed from.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. But here's the thing about champions. They have long memories. Clark remembered every single slight, every passive-aggressive comment, every time Reeve tried to make her feel small. And when she finally got the power to do something about it, she didn't hesitate for a second. The trade itself was surgical. Clark swapped Reeve for Sandy Brondello, the New York Liberty coach who just led her team to back-to-back finals appearances. Talk about an upgrade from a coach who spent her time criticizing Clark on social media to a championship-caliber coach who actually knows how to win when it matters most. Brondello's reaction was perfect too. Her teenage son texted her, "Mom, you got traded," and she thought the whole scene was fun. That's the kind of positive energy Clark wants around her team. No drama, no negativity, just pure basketball excellence and championship mentality.
Brondello's like, oh yeah, this is good. This is good. This is good. So wait, Caitlin Clark had Chrissy Sides, who never let her. Okay. Now she's got Stephanie White, who wants to do off ball. Oh, okay. And now Sadie Brondello's like, wait, oh, I could show Caitlin what she's been missing this whole entire. I can set up an offense like, oh, here comes recruitment year of 2028.
Meanwhile, Reeve had to sit there and watch as Clark essentially fired her on live television. The woman who thought she could control the narrative around Clark's career just got schooled by the very player she tried to undermine. You could practically see the steam coming out of her ears as she realized she'd been outmaneuvered by someone half her age. But let's talk about Clark's stacked roster, because this girl didn't just get rid of a toxic coach, she built herself a championship team. Look at this lineup. Aja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Satu Sabali, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Gabby Williams, Jackie Young, and more. This isn't just an all-star team. This is a super team designed to dominate.
Caitlin Clark actually has a complete roster to start her team. She's got Caitlin Clark at the 1, Sabrina Ionescu at the 2, Satu Sabali at the 3. She must have heard the chatter in the offseason of fans saying, let's get Satu Sabali. I'm just saying, she might have heard a thing or two. We got AB at the 4 and Aja Wilson at the 5. Starters for starters, this should be a victory. I know it's the All-Star game, but
Clark made sure to secure her Indiana Fever teammates first, showing that loyalty runs both ways in her world. She picked Aaliyah Boston with the first overall pick, a statement that said, "I take care of the people who take care of me." Then she grabbed Kelsey Mitchell as her first reserve pick, ensuring that the Fever's dynamic backcourt would be intact for the All-Star showcase. The strategy was brilliant. Clark surrounded herself with proven winners and elite talent at every position. Aja Wilson brings that 3-time MVP experience and championship pedigree. Sabrina Ionescu adds elite three-point shooting and clutch gene DNA. Satu Sabali provides versatility and international experience. This team is built to win, not just participate. And the best part? Clark didn't just randomly assemble talent, she created a team with chemistry, balance, and the kind of competitive fire that wins championships. These aren't just individual stars, they're players who know how to play together and elevate each other's games.
Between the players was a lot of fun, and Caitlin Clark also wound up with all of the Fever members on her squad as well, meaning Aaliyah Boston, Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell will be a trio in Indianapolis for All-Star. So that's the way it went down. Here are the teams. You can see Caitlin Clark celebrating what she was able to accomplish here. That's her squad. Clark, Boston, Ionescu, Wilson, Sabali, Mitchell, Gabby Williams. I love Gabby Williams. What a player. Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Jackie Young, Thornton, Kayla Thornton from the Valkyries. So Clark should have a very fast team there.
You know what's really telling about this whole situation? The fan reaction. Clark's supporters erupted when they saw the trade. Comments like, "Caitlin just fired Reeve as All-Star coach. I'm here for it." And "So glad Cheryl isn't coaching Caitlin Clark in the All-Star game. Goodbye, Cheryl," flooded social media. The people knew exactly what was happening. This was Clark taking control of her own narrative. Meanwhile, Reeve's camp was probably scrambling, trying to figure out how their veteran coach just got outplayed by a second-year player. The woman who spent months trying to tear Clark down through subtle digs and social media shade just got demolished in the most public way possible. The underlying message here is crystal clear. Caitlin Clark is done being disrespected. She's done with coaches who think they can use her name for attention while simultaneously trying to diminish her impact. She's done with the politics, the jealousy, and the toxic behavior that has plagued her journey from college to the pro. This trade wasn't just about coaching strategy, it was about power. Clark showed everyone that she's not just a player who can be pushed around by establishment figures. She's a superstar who can control her own destiny and make moves that shake up the entire league structure.
Now as Gangster Clark, heard Cheryl crusted blueberry muffin ass Reeves being salty in that press conference, throwing shade at the Fever and said, nope, get her punk ass up out of here. She ain't about to coach my team for the All-Star game, and that's why I call her Gangster Clark, because whatever Gangster Clark wants, Gangster Clark gets.
And let's not forget the delicious irony of it all. Reeve thought she could coast into this All-Star game, probably planning to use Clark's star power to boost her own profile. Instead, she got shipped off to coach Nafisi Collier's team while Clark upgraded to a championship-caliber coach who actually respects her talent. The trade also perfectly illustrates Clark's winning mentality. She didn't just accept the status quo or try to make it work with someone who clearly didn't have her best interests at heart. She identified a problem, found a solution, and executed it flawlessly. That's the kind of leadership that separates champions from everyone else. Now Clark gets to work with Sandy Brondello, a coach who has proven she can handle elite talent and maximize team potential. Brondello led the Liberty to consecutive finals appearances and knows how to create offensive systems that let stars shine while maintaining team chemistry. She's exactly the kind of coach Clark needs to showcase her abilities on the All-Star stage.
Bruh, tell me y'all just saw Caitlin Clark destroy Cheryl Reeves on national TV. I know y'all saw free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke. Bruh, Caitlin Clark want all the smoke. Caitlin Clark want all the smoke, bruh. Bruh, she just annihilated Cheryl Reeves on national television. I didn't see that coming. They asked Caitlin Clark, hey, Caitlin, are there any player trades you like to make? Nah, I'm kind of set with my team, but I would like to trade coaches.
On one side, you have Reeve, a coach who spent her time criticizing Clark's impact and trying to minimize her achievements. On the other side, you have Brondello, a proven winner who understands how to build around generational talent and create championship-level basketball. Looking at Clark's complete all-star roster, this team is unstoppable. The starting five alone could compete with any lineup in WNBA history. Clark runs point with her court vision and leadership. Ionescu provides elite shooting and basketball IQ. Wilson dominates the paint with her MVP-level talent. Sabali brings versatility and international experience. Boston anchors the defense with her shot blocking and rebounding. The bench is equally stacked. Kelsey Mitchell adds more three-point shooting and clutch scoring. Gabby Williams brings defensive intensity and hustle. Jackie Young provides veteran leadership and playoff experience. This isn't just a team, it's a basketball dynasty waiting to happen.
When you look at it, I mean, Williams is really fast for a forward. Obviously, Kelsey's very fast. Citron's very fast. Jackie Young's one of my favorite players. Iriafin, a rookie, can get up and down the floor. Ionescu can help spread the floor along with Kelsey and Clark so they can really shoot. Caitlin made sure to get some size. She actually passed up on Paige Beckers to take Sabali, and she took Asia Wilson with her third pick. If Asia had fallen any further down the board.
The most beautiful part of this entire situation is watching Clark take complete control of her career narrative. For too long, she's had to deal with coaches, media members, and league officials who seem more interested in controlling her story than supporting her success. The Olympic snub, the referee bias, the constant criticism. Clark endured it all with grace and professionalism. But grace and professionalism don't mean you have to accept disrespect forever. Clark finally reached her breaking point with Reeves' toxicity, and she handled it like the boss she is. No drama, no public feuds, just a clean, surgical move that removed a negative influence from her basketball environment. You can bet Reeve is fuming right now. She thought she had Clark in a position where she'd have to accept her as coach, probably planning to use the All-Star game as some kind of reconciliation opportunity. Instead, Clark showed her exactly what she thinks of coaches who spend their time undermining the league's biggest stars.
I don't know what's gotten into Caitlin Clark. You are leaning into this bad guy role. I love it. I don't know what's gotten into you, Caitlin Clark, but you've been on some I don't give a F lately. I love it. Oh my God, I cannot believe she just eviscerated and embarrassed Cheryl Reeve on national TV like that. They said, hey, would you like to make a player trade? It's better yet, I'll do you one better. Get this fucking coach up out of here. Hey, Caitlin Clark ain't playing, bro.
The woman who tweeted about the league being more than one player while Clark was single-handedly carrying the WNBA to new heights just got a reality check. The player she tried to diminish and control just proved she has more power and influence than any coach in the league. This trade represents everything Clark stands for: excellence, accountability, and winning. She's not interested in playing politics or maintaining fake relationships with people who don't support her success. She wants to be surrounded by champions who understand what it takes to win at the highest level. Sandy Brondello represents exactly that kind of championship culture. She's a coach who has proven she can handle pressure, manage elite talent, and create systems that maximize team potential. Clark knew exactly what she was doing when she made this trade. She was choosing excellence over toxicity, winning over politics, and respect over fake relationships.
Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule. So, Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina. So therefore, maybe Stewie wants to come on over to my team.
Whoa.
Let me know. B, you want to give me Stewie?
We have breaking news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game. This is something you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
I agree with Cheryl. I agree with the trade. I love Cheryl. She's my coach here. And you know what? That's just going to be worse for Team Clark because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. So that was a bad move on your part, Kayla. We're taking you down.
The All-Star Game on July 19th is going to be epic. Clark's team is loaded with talent, coached by a champion, and motivated by the perfect combination of individual excellence and team chemistry. They're not just playing to win, they're playing to prove that Clark's vision for basketball excellence is the right one. Meanwhile, Reeve gets to watch from the other sideline, probably regretting every negative comment she made about Clark's impact on the league. The coach who thought she could control and diminish Clark's influence just got schooled by the very player she tried to undermine. This is what happens when you mess with champions. Clark didn't just trade coaches, she dominated the entire narrative and showed everyone in the league that she's not someone to be disrespected or taken lightly. She's a superstar who demands excellence from everyone around her, and she's not afraid to make moves to ensure she gets it. The message is clear. Caitlin Clark is done with the toxicity. She's ready to win, and she's surrounded herself with people who share that same championship mentality. The All-Star Game is just the beginning. This is the moment Clark announced she's taking full control of her destiny, and the rest of the league better take notice.